Hi, this is Steve Cylance, Senior Product Marketing Manager for the security products here at Cylance. Over the next few minutes, we're going to take a look at the incident response capabilities included in CYlanceOPTICS. With CYlanceOPTICS, you can respond to incidents in a number of different ways. Let's take a look at a couple of examples. So I'm going to access CYlanceOPTICS. And the first example we're going to look at is when we've identified a potentially malicious artifact through threat hunting, through manual threat hunting. So if you've watched that video previously, you know that you can search across your endpoints. It's going to return to you the results, anything that's responsive based on what you searched for. So if we're going to be looking at, for example, we searched for a specific executable. In this example, it did return it. It found one instance of it. But what I can do is I can do a couple of different things from a response point of view. I could actually request the file to download it. I could globally quarantine it, which this is where we communicate back to Cylance Protect, and we send out instructions that this file, this artifact, it cannot be executed on any endpoint in my environment. It's globally quarantined. What I can also do is I can lock down the device. So if this was an instance where I identified that this machine, this EDR-15 machine, was actually detrimental to my environment, it was causing potential threats, or it was causing an outbreak, I could actually lock it down. When I lock that device down, what it does is I can actually take it off of line so that it is no longer can communicate with my endpoints in my network for a certain amount of time. I don't want to necessarily take the machine completely down by causing a reboot or shutting it down from power, because there might be some interesting artifacts on the machine that I want to grab. But what it does allow me to do is to isolate it. So these are some of the manual ways that you can respond to incidents. New in version 2.1 of CYlanceOPTICS is the capability for CYlanceOPTICS itself to identify threats through what we call detections. The way detections work is that it's a set of rules that you configure for your endpoints. So in this example, we have what we call detection rule sets. So you create a set of rules, or you select, I should say, which rules you want to apply to endpoints. And right now we are providing, Cylance is providing you these rules. We've worked with product management, our services team, customers, to identify what we call high fidelity rules. So you can select a rule and you can identify what sort of response you want the product to take based on the rule. So in this example, for instance, Cylance Security Masquerader, this is where something is trying to look like a Cylance security product. You can enable it. You can turn on a desktop notification that would alert the user that something occurred on the endpoint, and then you identify what sort of response you want to take. So in this example, maybe I want to delete the files, I want to log off the users, and I want to log it. In another case, for instance, with a different type of rule, like this fileless malware, I might want to do other things. I'm going to turn it on, I'm going to turn on desktop notifications, but I want to log off users, I want to suspend processes, and I want to log it. You'll notice there's no delete file here because it's a fileless malware. So there is no file to delete. So you go through this whole list, you select which rules you want to run and the response that you want to take. Now certainly we're not trying to say that every single incident can be responded to automatically, but there certainly are steps that we can take to those initial steps, especially if it's something very severe that you want to essentially just stop the outbreak, right? You want to kind of put out the fire first, and then you or the security analyst can go and do further analysis and take further steps. So that's our approach to incident response with CylanceOPTICS. For more information, please visit us at Cylance.com.